What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Eminem Talks. I am Maurice.
I'm Monica.
And it is review time.
It is.
It's review time.
We done watched it again and again. So just to kind of contemplate on our thoughts and theories and things that we miss, things that we think could be going on and stuff like that. So we're excited to share that with you all and see what your thoughts were and everything.
Yeah. Well, let's start off. What are we drinking tonight, babe?
We got some Crown. So if you like to, have a drink with us and let's talk. If not, just let's talk.
Yeah, and before we get started, make sure you hit that notification button, subscribe, comment. We will be responding to our comments.
Yes.
Keeping the conversation going. Like it, share it.
If you like it, subscribe, please.
Join in the convo.
Yes. All right.
I want to start off with hot damn. This was a masterclass of writing, directing, acting. The cinematography was excellent. Like, from top to bottom, this episode fucking delivered.
The depth of layers that went into this, just every part of it, just the visuals, the editing of, everything just kind of seamlessly went together and you went with it. It was just like every single moment, every single frame, you felt it. It was just like you were there. You understood. It was just like a new level of understanding that maybe wouldn't even say we were missing, just we didn't know we didn't have. Right. So I am in love with this episode. And every time we rewatched it, I fell in love with it even more because there were so many things that in the moment of first watching it, you just missed. Yeah. So these are some of the things that we're going to talk about tonight. And again, our theories are just our theories.
Yeah, I'm still under the impression this is possibly still a hex that Billy has put up. We'll see how that plays out. But again, this episode, I've watched a number of different reactions. We rewatched it, tongue twister, and every time it's gotten better and better.
Yes.
From watching it in the reactions, going back into thought. I was at work today. It was a Friday. Nobody was in the office, so I'm just kind of going through some reactions.
And I'm at home thinking about stuff, and I bombarded him when he came home.
It's gotten better and better. We watched it last night again, and it seems better. And this episode, it was one of these episodes. It was so well done that it actually elevated the previous episodes.
It did.
Leading up to this one,
it gave me a new appreciation. Like, I already liked and loved the previous episodes, but it definitely gave me a new appreciation for them.
Yeah, it makes you want to go back and definitely follow Lilia. Going back to episode 1 or 2 when she came in. I think it was 2.
Realizing that we were seeing Lilia's trial the whole time in the tarot cards. And I'm sure some of you probably picked up on it, but for those of us who didn't, like me, we were seeing these tarot cards, every single last one of them the whole time, just staring at them. It was almost like we were getting previews to Lilia's trial in all the episodes since she got on. So it was crazy. It was crazy, just little things like that. And then, finally seeing her, I don't know if that was her teacher or whatever they called her, when she's sitting across the table from her, and realizing that was the vision that she had with her dad, and death appeared behind her. I'm just like, oh crap, that's the same lady. Like, it just, again, the appreciation for the other episodes, tying all of that in that we were seeing and not really seeing.
Same lady, same table. Even going back to Agatha's trial, and Alice, the way she went up there and she shot her power out, Lilia runs up and she quickly says 9 of Wands, and nobody catches that. But going back to that scene, you're like, oh man, she did just blurt it out there the moment she shot her power out. It was a masterclass of writing. Period.
I'm so jealous of you, of those of you who actually did get those little hints. I think I was just, for real. That's awesome. But it was just little things like that we went into. Maurice and I have been going back and forth with some things. Of course, sometimes we just disagree on how we see things and which way we think they're going.
Yeah, so there was something I did notice when we rewatched it. And those of you who are watching this, who have chimed in on our video, you're going to chime in on this one. Let me know if you caught this as well. Right after her trial, Lilia's trial was completed, and the Iron Maiden opens up and she tells everybody to get inside the Iron Maiden because the Salem 7 were coming. The roots that were once yellow were green. I don't know what that's foretelling, but it did stand out. Because as they were walking, her and Jim walking through those caves, they were following those nasty roots that she kind of hinted towards, and they were yellow. But when that maiden opened, those roots were still there, but they were green. So we had a discussion once I told her that today. I'm thinking that this next trial may be Rio's. And the discussion was, well, why would she have a trial if she is death?
Yeah, because she's not part of the coven.
She's not part of the coven, but she's on the road, and I think that's what matters.
But she's just the tourist.
It's that she's going to be tested no matter what, because anybody that's on the road is going to get tested.
And of course, I disagree with that because I'm just like, she's just a tourist and she's there literally to do her job. We know the Salem 7 are looking for Agatha. For some reason, Rio doesn't want anybody to have Agatha but her. So we definitely got to see what that's about. I also feel like, the thing is you had to be part of the coven. If you weren't part of the coven, why were you tested? And I could be completely wrong, but I just don't feel like death has a trial on this road. I do believe Lady Mistress is just there, or Mistress Death is just there to do what basically do her job. Again, she's just a tourist on that road. So I definitely do disagree with that. Well, however, noticing that in the Iron Maiden that it did turn green, I kind of feel like it does have to do something with both Agatha and Rio at this point.
I feel like we may get a bit of a backstory because Rio was the original Green Witch, and I feel like they may let us know. I'm hoping. I actually would like to see this. What made her take on the moniker?
How did she become
Death?
Death.
Before she became Death, she was the Green Witch. She was a witch. So what happened? What deal did she make? Why was she around Agatha for all those centuries? I hope they're going to touch on it. We only got 2 episodes left, and actually it's a double next week
so ready
to
for that.
close out the series. But
I just found it also befitting that Agatha was given the Green Witch, the Wicked Witch, color, the whole green color outfit, everything. She was given that role when we got into Lilia's trial. And then as her being the Green Witch, Wicked Witch, going into the Iron Maiden, then all of a sudden those roots turn green. Mm-hmm. So for me, I feel like it has something to do with both Agatha and Rio. But then we can't forget, we definitely... all of us are wondering, why did Lilia tell her when she calls you a coward, hit the deck?
Right.
And then her telling Jennifer, like, you are the path ahead. So where does that come into play?
Right.
Could it be something that has to do with her in this next one? I'm not sure. I just feel like whatever it is with Billy, is going to be the last one. I don't think it's going to be this next one, or maybe he has something to do with it too. So, there are so many possibilities that could happen going into this next trial. Technically, and then this is something we also disagree on. I feel like the first trial was Jen's, and I say that because they were all poisoned, and then she's the potions witch, high priestess. They wouldn't have survived. None of them would have survived except for Billy, teen. And none of them would have survived it but him had it not been for her. She had to reach into her. Like the card said, she's either unwilling or unable to use her powers when she was reading her as the high priestess. But I felt like that's what it was in her trial. It was bringing that out of her, and she was able to create the potion to get them to move on from that trial. So I feel, although he's going to tell you he disagrees with me.
I disagree.
I feel that was Jen's trial, but I don't think she was finished. I do believe that was her trial, but I also, and obviously she's lasted this long, and from what Lilia told her going into the Iron Maiden, that she definitely does have another part to play in the next trial or the one after. She's got another part to play. So yes, once again, I do believe that first trial was for Jen, but I also believe Jen does have another part to play in somebody else's trial.
So I don't believe, the beach house trial, I don't believe that was Jen's. One reason it being her ability got shown when Teen got stabbed or got impaled by the glass, and she had to heal him on the spot. That we didn't see that in that trial. I do believe that trial was Sharon Davis or Mrs. Hart. She, although she's not a witch, she was on the road, and I believe the road is going to test whoever is supposed to be in a coven. So each one of them are going to get a trial, no matter who it is, which makes me believe that we have not seen Jen's yet. Being a high priestess that is either afraid to use her power or can't use her power, we haven't seen what she can do. And I believe she may be there to oppose death when it's all said and done.
But then I had to question to him, how was that Sharon's trial? I don't understand, because there was nothing that she did. There was nothing about it that was for Sharon that would make it her trial. You had to be a witch to go through these trials, because there are certain things that have to be brought out of that witch to make them face and go through. And Sharon was never a witch. Well, she was brought there by Agatha misleading the rest of the coven, because everybody, of course, in the beginning was thinking the black heart meant it was Rio because of the statement that she made. And so her not wanting to bring Rio into the coven, she just went and got Mrs. Hart and told the rest of the coven that she was the Green Witch. So Mrs. Sharon was never supposed to be there in the first place. So going into that trial, again, one that teen always touching shit, but he always finding.
That's another thing too.
He's the one always starting these trials,
which makes me a little bit believe that this may be his hex, because he has started every trial. I think
he has started every single one of them. He's always found what it was needed.
The Ouija board popped out at him. He touched the record in the studio.
He found the card for the wine, and
he started every one, I believe. So but there's something there to that.
So I don't understand how the first trial could be Sharon. It literally, it doesn't, to me, it doesn't make sense. I tried to get him to give me more reasons as to why he thinks that's Sharon's, because she did nothing but drink the wine twice. Her
statements, bury me in this kitchen, where she comes from in WandaVision, the suburb, it was a nice house. I mean, the house doesn't relate to any other witch.
But but the trial was to get out of it. The trial was poison, and to get through that poison.
Wine time, which is something that's more related to her.
Okay, but the trial was to get through the poison.
Right.
Okay, so how was Sharon getting us through that poison? She's not a witch. She's not a witch at all, and she definitely wouldn't been able to make those potions.
Well, I mean, it's not up to that witch to actually make it through that trial. They're supposed to know the most out of it. That's like Alice actually being the witch that stopped that answered Agatha's trial.
being I mean, while I understand that, it's still nothing about it made it seem to be Sharon's. But that's one we're gonna agree to disagree on, because I still can't I just can't process how any of that had to do with Sharon. And if it wasn't for Jen using her powers, her potion powers, to get them through it, all of them would have died but Teen. So I don't understand it. But maybe you guys have an opinion. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that was for Sharon, or do you think that was for Jen? And again, I do think that was Jen's trial, but I also think she has another part to play.
She definitely has another part to play, and I believe that subway has something to do with it that we saw in this episode. That actually may lead to her trial or whatever else is going to happen. But
she kept thinking it was to go home.
But she definitely has another part to play. With the revelation, we had this previous episode of her being a high priestess. So that was kind of a discovery in this episode. So it's like, how powerful is she?
Does she make it all the way through the trials? Right. Does she make it to the end of the road?
The card that Lilia did pull on Billy being the magician.
Oh, that was a telltale.
With that very specific.
We all know he's
definition,
wicked.
And then the look that Agatha gave afterwards. I'm like, man, I really wonder if this is all a hex that Billy has put up with. For why? What reason? We don't. I couldn't answer that. I couldn't even theorize. But
even when Billy
is starting to feel like it.
Remember when I could see as to why he would think that. And then Billy does say, what does he say when he was talking to Agatha when they were walking on the road by themselves? He said something, I wonder if you were ever on the road. And then really Agatha kind of stopped and had to think about that too. And I still think with no shoes, they look like hobbits. But anyhow.
But again, I mean, there's when you go back and look at the episode of William's past, when Billy took over the vessel, there are a lot of things in his room that does reflect the Witch's Road. So that's what makes it interesting. It just reminded me of the inspirations that Wanda had in WandaVision for her creating the hex that the way she did. She had inspiration behind it. With William wanting to be a magician or at least into magic, and Billy being the person that he is, there's some inspiration there for him to create a hex of the Witch's Road. So
if he did it unknowingly, I think, because he's still not in control of his powers. He still don't even know his full powers that we know of. We don't know what's going to happen in these two season finales.
Because what he does know, I'm sure, what he does remember is that Agatha can take power. So he probably prepared himself, if this is the theory that's happening, not to use his power on her, which is why he possessed Lilia and Jen to attack Agatha. He's claiming that he doesn't know how to use it, but he was very specific on how to go after Agatha and how not to go after her.
Yeah, there's some sus things that teen be doing that we're just like, I don't know if I believe you, sir, but we're gonna roll with it for right now because we ain't 100% sure. But yeah, so I mean, there were a couple other things just in Lilia's trial, like realizing that there were only 5 of the Salem 7 that hit the knives coming down. There's 2. Yeah, there was only 5, so there's 2 out there left, and as one of our friends,
and the owl.
Yeah, the crow and the owl. To be honest with you, I ain't gonna lie. I was sitting up there thinking when we realized there was only 5 that hit it, I was just like, who could it have been? I wonder who it is. And then one of our friends who's commented on us before came in and let us know that. And shout out to you. Yeah. Definitely thank you. We appreciate you following us. We definitely appreciate that. But let us know. It was the owl and the crow. What was
crow.
it? Yeah, the owl and the crow. And I was like, oh shit, that makes sense. Duh, Monica.
Yeah,
because they fly.
We ain't done with at least 2 of the 7.
I mean, and that makes sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense that not all of them would die. And I love that they did that, because it originally I was just like, damn, I love the way. First of all, come on, Miss Patti LuPone. We got to give it up for that woman.
Absolutely.
She deserves a standing ovation for her portrayal of Lilia Caldero. So, I loved how she went out. She accepted the fact that, first of all,
that was gangster. I'm sorry.
Let's go back to the fact to where the moment she showed us, and we realized at this point she is in control of her powers. Because you know how when she was having these visions of the future, everything's out of sequence. She's just being pulled. She's just being pulled unknowingly. And then in her trial, at that last moment when she turns around, she was like, I know what's missing. And she turns around and goes back in. It was that moment that she showed us, I am in control of my power now. Because again, every other time she's just been pulled and pulled and pulled, just yanked in different directions with these different visions. And she was able to take herself into the part of her vision she wanted to be. She turned around and she went to work. And then Miss Lilia just gave us, it's bittersweet. Because I am so sad we don't get our Lilia. But I do have a theory on this, and I could be completely wrong. But she went out like a G. She definitely did. My girl said, I'm going, but you motherfuckers is coming with me.
when you get a chance to see your end,
yes,
see how you're going to end.
And she knew it.
Make peace with it. And it's like, I'm not going alone.
And the thing that I do want to put out there, because, you know, the whole thing around, if you knew you can do this, if you seen this and blah, 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 and you put the sigil on Billy, then you could have been able to save William instead of letting him die. That's a misconception, because she couldn't stop death. And she even explained that when she talked about the fever that wiped out her whole coven.
Well, her teacher
she's seen it. She seen it, and she told everybody, and nothing changed. Everybody still died. So in Lilia's mind, whether she could or could not at that time, because of what happened to her coven already, she didn't think she can stop death, because she's already tried before. So all she can do is help Billy along the way. She's seen what was going to happen. Mm-hmm. She's seen William dying, and she's seen Billy coming into his body, and she was helping him out by giving him some more time. She just did what she was able to do. It's not that, I don't believe that she just couldn't interfere, because technically in, you know, putting that sigil on William's mouth, because he was still William when she did that sigil, she technically interfered. So that's not, we're not going down the road of saying, oh, you can't interfere with such and such and such. It's not that. She just knows that she can't stop death. It was going to happen one way or the other. So all she did was help out where she could, which is great, because her being able to go out saving her coven, being that she wasn't able to the last time, that was amazing. And she knew she was getting ready to die. She knew her end was near, and she seen it. She chose to do what she did. She chose to have death on her own time, instead of it being taken from her. And she chose to go out saving her coven this time, unlike she was able to back then when the fever wiped them out. So that was beautiful in itself. She said, okay, I see my end. I can't stop it, but bitch, watch. This is what I'm going to do, because I'm going to go when I'm ready to go, and I'm going to go now, but I'm taking these motherfuckers with me. So to me, that was beautiful. But I also will say, we know, unless you actually see somebody die when it comes to these shows, unless you see the life leave from them, like we heard William's heart stop, like you see death, and you know, oh yeah, that they dead. They just did. We didn't actually see Lilia die. And I know the whole, one of our friends on here commented saying, you know, time is, repeating her words, talking about what time is a construct or something like that.
The thing, when the tower was upright.
Yeah.
The first thing the camera panned over to was the clock.
Yeah,
And
the top clock
up.
flipping back over.
There is a consensus of she basically has.
She went back. She started over as a child, and at her first lesson, which is what we see. Now we do see her do that. We see her as a child running back, eager to start her first lesson, but we never actually seen her die in that scene. We seen her falling, and this time, unlike the other times when she was falling, how she had this fear on her face. When she did it this time, she was you can see the calmness on her face. She was much more at peace. She knew what was getting ready to happen, and she falls into this black, but we never actually see her hit the swords like the 5 of the Salem 7 did. We didn't see that. All we seen was the sand time turn, and her, a kid again, eager to go and get her first lesson. So I'm just saying, I could be completely wrong. I could be, but that's like we said, we go down our own rabbit holes. So that's where my mind is going right now. But yeah, that whole scene, that whole realization, that whole Lilia taking control of her visions, her power, her deciding how she's gonna die and taking motherfuckers with her, like to save her coven, which she wasn't able to do before. So that was all for me. That was just beautiful.
Yeah, it was well written, well directed, well acted. This was honestly one of the best episodes of a Disney Plus show ever, in my opinion.
I second that.
Ever. Like, it was just definitely gave me that Christopher Nolan feel. Inception, Tenet, like what is going on, all in one episode. You know, you got something special on your hand when one episode can elevate the previous episodes. I don't expect these last two to be at that level. I'm praying, I'm hoping that Disney Plus sticks the landing, because they don't do well with finales.
I truly hope they are. But if it could be better than this episode, dude,
I'm really hoping that they can hit this mark.
I'm a bow.
But I will say this: if these last two episodes are on the same level or better than what we just witnessed, at the end of our reaction, I said it felt like Marvel was kind of getting back to that old standard. I will come out and say they are back, completely back. When you could deliver 3 episodes like that in a series where every episode got better and better and better. One episode elevated the previous episodes, and then the last 2 actually were better than this one. Yeah, you can put me in that basket of saying, yeah, you know what, those dark days are over for Marvel. They're back, because this writing has been phenomenal all season long, actually. Sheesh, I mean, going back to we came across the first episode again. I forgot what day it was, but man, there is such the story itself, from where it started being Agatha or Agnes in the TV show to where we are now. This story has been a long journey.
It has been.
It has been one long journey,
but beautiful,
but just well crafted,
mentally stimulating and emotionally beautiful.
So, let us know what you're thinking, what your theories are going forward. Whose theories has shifted coming out of this episode. I'm still sticking to one. I feel like this still could be a hex that Billy has put up, and if it is, I can't wait to find out why. I cannot wait to find out why. Again, and that the second half of the season trailer that they dropped, I want to say about a week and a half ago, had teased there is still a big twist coming.
Yeah. I'm excited to see what this twist is.
So there is still a big twist that we're gonna see, which theories out there, it may be a hex all over again. But
I honestly don't know. I just there's some things that are still kind of on my mind, like Teen's magic book that Lilia found when they dropped. And when she found it, it was the way she hid it from Jen. Like, why did she need to hide it? We know he lost it. Babe here had a theory that it was Agnes that took it when they were going into her trial, because when they were coming in the door, she opens it, and when Teen comes past her, she just kind of, it was just the way, it was just, he had it before then, and then after that it was gone. Mm-hmm. So did Agnes take it? And we do know that she was thrown down there too, but she was down there first.
Yeah,
she was down there a little longer than Jen and Lilia was.
She was down there first, and when Jen
what
and
was
Lilia
she doing down there?
Jen encountered death.
How was it down there? Why did Lilia react the way that she did when she found it and just kind of stuck it in her coat, and was almost like she was hiding it from Jen? Like, what was that about? What did she see, or what did she know or feel that we're not picking up on? And if you have any ideas or theories about that, if that was something that you noticed and still's on your mind, please let me know in the comments, because I would love to have something more to go off of. Or it could be nothing.
And what did Lilia mean by when she told Billy he wasn't ready, or they needed to be ready? Didn't say ready for what?
When did she say that?
Well, after he asked her about putting the sigil on him, and she says, "Yeah, you needed time." I think she said.
She said. I know you needed more time.
I know you needed more time. Time for what, though?
To adjust.
Because she saw everything.
Yeah,
when she read him, she saw everything.
For me, I think it was just he needed time to adjust, because again, at the age he was when he thrust himself into William's body, he didn't know what the hell was going on. He didn't know how to control his powers like that. I don't even know if he knew he could do that. So I think she knew he needed time to adjust to what just happened, what's going on. And he did have amnesia still going, that he had no memories of his time in Westview. And so I think that's what she meant. But if you think she meant something else, please let us know, because we would like to go down that rabbit hole with you.
Yeah. But other than that, though, I got nothing else. It was just an amazing freaking episode.
It was.
It was just an amazing episode.
It absolutely was. And it's just my head, the wheels in my head just keep turning with so many questions, with so many things. And I have never wanted a week to go by so damn fast. It's because I am ready to watch this. Man, I just want to shake their hands. I want to shake people's hands, especially this group of actors. The casting was fucking phenomenal. Just spot on. Everybody has pulled their weight. There was like everybody executed their character flawlessly and did what they were supposed to do seamlessly together. And that's hard to do in these days. There's always that one person that everybody else got to carry, or just, it just that tug and pull that you feel in some series and movies. And with this one, you didn't feel that not one time. They all played their part. They got the assignment, understood the assignment, and executed that shit flawlessly. And I am truly, truly thankful and appreciative to them for that. I wish I could shake their hands. I wish I could shake the writer's hands, the director, the creative director, just all of them, because this was absolutely beautiful and stunning. Sorry, I keep going about this episode because this is an all day thing for me. I keep doing this, but it was that fucking good.
Yeah, it was great. No complaints here from me. I'm looking forward to see how this ends. Mm-hmm. Let's hope they stick the landing.
Oh God, hope so.
Hope they give us a good finale.
Hope so.
Hope they close it out well.
Hope so. Oh, definitely.
And I hope we get to see Agatha, Wiccan, pop up in other projects. Like, we still haven't seen Shang-Chi.
That is true. First of all, that was a beautiful movie.
Where the hell has he been?
And
But let's
need more
let's
Shang-Chi.
not do that to these characters.
But Wiccan, we know we haven't seen the last of him because everybody's seen his statue.
Yeah.
And what's that dang thing called again? I always forget and butcher the name of that.
When we are recording, I forget the name of this freaking Mount Wundagore.
Yeah, something like that. What he said. We know we've seen a statue of Wiccan in there.
Because just like the Scarlet Witch was prophesized in the Dark
We
Hold,
haven't seen the last of Wiccan, is what we haven't. This is just the beginning. At least I hope so. Don't pull a Shang-Chi. Don't do that to us. But yeah, I'm excited to know. Will we get some appearances? Will we see the Scarlet Witch? Well, will we see Mephisto? Because that's what I'm hoping. At least can we get an end credit scene with one of them or something? But we'll see.
I do feel like somebody's going to show up.
White Vision.
I don't know if it's Wanda, but I honestly, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised if she does appear.
I think we're more like they've said it before.
I'm leaning heavily towards White Vision appearing. I don't know, for me, it would just make sense for him to appear.
I can kind of see it.
It would make sense for him to appear, especially if Billy had got his memories back, knowing that Vision took off, or learning that Vision took off, or White Vision took off. Why wouldn't he try to reach out to him? I don't know how he would do it, but why wouldn't he try to search? And maybe within that search, he actually located him. So I have my money on White Vision. Mephisto possibly could make an appearance. We do know he's scheduled to appear in Ironheart, which is really interesting. And I was actually telling her earlier, this show has given me more confidence in Ironheart.
I ain't got that much confidence.
The series.
But I'm open.
Just because I knew how I felt about Agatha.
Yeah, that is true.
Leading into it, like, I didn't want this show. I didn't want Ironheart's show. Why are we doing this? Why we these characters? Put them in something else before you give them their own show. We liked Agatha and WandaVision. I know I liked Riri Williams in Wakanda Forever, but I wanted to see her in something else before you gave her own title. I want to see Agatha in something else before we gave her own platform.
I still feel with Riri that she can more just be a pop-up in some things, but to give her own show, I'm gonna hope that they give me they do me a switcheroo like I did with Agatha All Along, because I felt the same way about Agatha. Didn't understand why we needed this show, but god damn it. This was the show I never knew I fucking needed in my life. But I hope that they can do that for me with Ironheart, because as of right now, I'm with this show. I think I'm more open to it, but I still don't have a lot of confidence.
I'm definitely a lot more open to it than I once was. And that's simply because the way this show has turned out. I believe there were delays with this show, and people were saying, oh, this is going to be another Echo type situation, and I had low expectations, but the way the show has turned out, it's blown everything out of the park. And we know that they slowed down production. They made some changes. They did a lot of reshoots with this, and I heard the same thing about Ironheart. They did a lot of reshoots with that, and we know the whole transition between Bob Chapek and Bob Iger, and what they did with some of the things that were in production. Daredevil, they reshot the entire thing, or they scrapped their whole original story. So, I mean, that should have been. I guess that should have been a telltale sign that Agatha All Along was going to hit.
I didn't see it, but
that should have been the sign, because they had the story for Daredevil ready to go, and once Feige took back over and they started to weed out some of the bullshit that they brought in, they scrapped that entire story and reshot everything. So they did that with Agatha. I'm hearing the same thing they did with Ironheart. Maybe. I'm holding out hope. But Mephisto is casted and going to be appearing in Ironheart, which does raise some damn questions. Why the hell would he be in that show and not this show?
Yeah, it does. That's a good question. But we'll see. Thank you for joining in with us. And again, please leave us your comments as you've seen, or for those of you that has already commented, I do make it a point to reply to everyone. So we love that interaction. Please keep it going. And please remember to like, share, subscribe. If you like our videos, please subscribe. We definitely would love to put some more out there. But yeah, so we can't wait for our reaction next week. We've got two. We're definitely breaking them up. We're not going to do one long episode. We are going to break it up for
individual videos. We have reactions for Daryl Dixon coming up.
Yes.
We're getting caught up on Penguin
right now.
We can do our reaction for this upcoming episode this Sunday. Then, of course, for those of you guys that watch that crazy ass show from
was become another obsession of ours.
Watch. We'll throw a reaction of that too.
If
you have not watched that show, I'm going to recommend it.
You really
watch that damn show.
I got him on
it.
My sister got me on it. And then I've been addicted. And then it caught him from the first episode. It was just like,
if you like WandaVision, you're going to like From.
Oh my God.
I'll just say that.
You have no idea what's going on in this fucking show, and I love it.
WandaVision, you're going to like From. Because it's going to leave you guessing what the fuck is really going on.
Yeah. But
But you can check out our reaction with that too. But I highly recommend, if you haven't watched it, jump on it. Until then,
we'll see you guys next week.
Glad you guys stopped in and chopped it up with you.
You'll all join us for our reaction for next week's 2 episodes.
Yes.
And we will see you then. And one last toast to Miss Lilia Calderon.
Yes.
Miss Patty Lapone.
We'll pour something out, but I don't want to make a mess.
I'm not doing that. That's alcohol abuse. Anyhow, let's give a toast for Miss Patty Lapone, Miss Lilia Calderon.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining M&M Talks.
Please like and subscribe us, and we'll talk to you later.
All right.
Deuces.